Oh my God, it's even a few minutes, like a minute after starting time. Oh my God, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. Hello, everybody. If you are there and you can hear me, feel free to speak, make a note of that in chat because I'm testing a new headset and things. So I just want to see how this sounds. If you do not mind, I can also, of course, send a message out. Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's prop stream. Yes, I'm wearing a headset today, and it has no wires, with a microphone right here. So we'll see how this works out. If we have to make adjustments and stuff. I am just making a. Oh, here we go. Hello, also. Oh, thank you for the follow. Can you hear me? Is this coming through well? Because I'm testing a new microphone, so I'm not really sure. So I'm just standing here staring at the camera now. Hi. Uh, so I have no idea if you're actually hearing me. Yeah, you can hear me. Okay, that's good. Awesome. Welcome uh, to today's stream. Oh, it feels weird to have headphones. I just have the mic from the camera, but moving around and having the, you know, huh? Actually, I think you might have, but we all know Twitch by now. Our master and overlord Twitch. All right. Well, welcome in, and thank you for the follow. Uh, in no matter how it was. Today we are making a new one of these. That's the whole. That's the whole plan. And once it's done, we are giving it away. So if you wanna hang around and watch one of these being made and have a chance to win one, you can enter the giveaway. You should be able to enter the giveaway now, actually, because I did not set it for anything. Yeah, so if you write pipe dream in the chat, you should be entered. I am not super sure because I don't do giveaways normally so much because I haven't streamed so much. So we'll see how me and Moobot gets along with the giveaway. Otherwise, we'll sort that out later. So yeah, we're making this from scratch because this is EVA foam uh, and PVC pipes, all of it. But I'm not sure if I want to make this handle for it though. Oh, that worked. There you go. First contestant is in the giveaway. So thank you for testing that as well. Thank you for that. Yeah, I don't have any patterns for this because I just made this as I went along with some reference material. I just need to get my pad because that's where I have my reference material. Because why print things on waste paper and colors when you don't have to? Let me just. Oh, here we go. No, no Dropbox. I don't want to make a comment. Here we go. So, okay. Whoa, that's. So that is the. Let me just get you down there a little bit like that, maybe. Yeah. So that's the basic pipe revolver from Fallout 4. So it looks a little bit different from that one. Oh, here we go. Another contestant. Welcome in and welcome to the drawing, to the making of and the giving away of the pipe revolver. I have my chat now. I was thinking something feels off. I usually have my chat like in front of me on the pad, but now I have the pad. Now I have the pad like this. Oh, so yeah. Oh yeah, no worries. Uh, you go and work. It's totally fine. If you happen to be sort of the winner, huh? You will be contacted afterwards, so no worries. Right, so what we're doing now is making a few decisions. We need to make a decision if we want this original handle. I'm pretty sure I want something on the pipe because just the stub is a little bit boring. But there are so many options in this game when you're making things. Yeah, pipe revolver with a short light barrel, with a short barrel. Oh yeah, we have the long barrel, which is like a big chunky boy, like that, which looks kind of cool, but not really today, I think. We have a ported pipe pistol. Oh yeah, we have the ported with like some holes, and then we have the long barrel with holes. And this is just the barrels yet. We're just at the barrels yet. Oh yeah, we have the finned barrel, which is a really odd choice for this gun, I think. But we have this grip here, which I'm thinking this is the grip I want to do today because I don't know, I sort of like it. It's just one flat piece, and then between them. So it's like an I-beam that is weirdly shaped, and there's a hole, couple of holes, I guess to make it lighter or because it's made of some sort of a beam. So the base structure, like this part here, that's the same, no matter what we do. You can go exotic and do like real stocks and stuff, but I'm pretty sure I am making this. Oh, no, you don't have to. No, stop making things bright and awkward, Dropbox, please. Thank you. Here we go. See where we were. Have to go backwards. Oh yeah, there's a lot of sights we can do as well, which is also maybe not something like a really big sight for a revolver is maybe not the thing we want. Oh, you got some really cool stock stuff. This one is also pretty cool. But I'm feeling this is more for another project, another weapon that is not the revolver for some reason. I know they're like Winchester rifles and stuff, but I'm not a fan of revolver-ish rifles. So we're keeping it to this. So, okay, let's decide. This is the grip that we're using. The so-called comfort grip. I don't know if that looks very comfortable, but yeah, And then I think we are doing. We're gonna do another barrel, so we can just build this piece and then add whatever afterwards. So that's good. We don't really have to have everything up like that. I'm not me. Well, actually, that's a very interesting looking sight, but I don't think we're doing a tactical pipe revolver pistol. Recon sights looks even more off. You can also have two different types of bayonets on this gun, but as you can see, I don't know if you can see. Can you see? Yeah, the bayonet is actually, it's not really made to have a bayonet, of course, because it's a revolver. So the the two bits actually collide, but they don't really have a hitbox. So mm, not so much for bayonets on the revolver here. Oh, here we go. Here's the the compensator, which is basically what I have done on this, but this has a bit smaller holes than the in-game one. And then we have the muzzle, which is like more of a, I don't know, it looks like an old hole drill bit or something with some, they don't look like, I guess these are supposed to be, you can see the circles here, and I think they're supposed to be holes. Just, you can't really see it from this angle maybe. So So and yeah, then we have the suppressor, which is this giant chunk of a thing, which is not. So I kind of like the muzzle, but I think we're sticking with the compensator, this one, the uh, the compensator, and we're gonna make these holes a bit bigger, like they are on the game. Hi, sweetheart. Welcome in. So yeah, so we're making this part between my hands first, which is the like base of the gun, and then we're gonna, because we're not using this, we're using this front part here, but we're not using this handle. We're using this grip. We're using another grip. So, I mean, I could use this, but where's the fun in that? I could just do the measurements on this one, but I kind of want to put that away, not to do that, and just sort of figure this out as I did on the first version that we just saw. I just sort of scribbled a little bit. I think I'm gonna try and scribble a bit more thorough this time, because yeah, and this is also just a tiniest tad big. But if you can look at the screen, this is about the same size now. So we can use a maximum zoomed in picture here as our reference, which is really, really good. Because right up here, the barrel actually ends, and we see the back end here. So this is the part that we want to make. So we could quite possibly even trace. Hi, Mitch. Welcome to the stream, but I need more light and a different picture to do that. So we'll have to do some good old-fashioned measuring. Let's see if I can figure out where I have put my tape measurer. Of all the things I had not put out in a place where I know where it is. Oh, here we go. Well, it's not the one I'm looking for, but it's a tape measure, so that works. How are we today? Are people good? I'm gonna move the camera a bit so you can see what I'm doing, because I want it to be closer to me, because that means I don't have the glare from the lights in the screen. But this is pretty simple. We can just measure the screen literally. So that's about 4 centimeter. So that is uh, okay. To stop myself from sewing a skirt from fabric I already have plans for. Oh, buy more fabrics. I didn't say anything. That wasn't me. Okay, I'm gonna have to move this to over here for now. Because otherwise I'm gonna be drawing out of camera. We're trying to get everything in camera. There we go. The whole paper. Can you actually see if I draw on that? You can see a little anyway. So 4 centimeters. I'm not really concerned with this being too straight, because this is a pipe revolver. It's basically made from scrap. Go and buy secondhand fabrics now. Well, no, actually stay here. Oh, by the way, if you write pipe dream and in one word in the chat, you are in the run for getting one of these. Well, the one that we're making actually. That's the giveaway today. We're giving away one of these that we are making first, and then we're giving it away. Who's straight anyway? Well, that is, you know, so that's 5 and about 90 degrees. It's a gun made from scrap. Remember that. Yeah, so pipe dream in the chat if you are in the least interested of having a fallout pipe revolver. Interesting that this is made out of metal, so it's conductive. Stop that. Stop. Why would I want to make comments on my own pictures on my own Dropbox? Dropbox, you are being silly. Okay, let's see if this works better. Like from 10 to... No, as soon as I touch it, no matter what. Oh God, you're annoying. Let's try not touch it then. 10 to that, it's like 38. Not quite 40 there. So let's call it 38. And then we're gonna measure this bit. And that's about 16, 17. And this one we don't even have to measure because we just have to close that. So that's the first part we're gonna cut out, and then we're gonna have to cut this out, but I don't even think we need a template for that. We just adapt it off the back of this piece. And the same thing with this one. This is just a long flat piece that we're gonna bend. Uh, so we can see from the picture that this is thinner than this. This is wider than that because you have the light and the shadows and everything here. So we know that this part and this part, and they also look to be about similar. Yeah, but I'm not gonna bother with any new apps and stuff now. I think not. I was gonna have a sip of tea, but I don't know where I put my tea. Maybe I left it out here. Oh yeah, here you are, cup of tea. Don't try and get away from me. So how is the sound, by the way? Does it sound good to everybody with the new mic and stuff? But yeah, Lightbox, Tracer Lightbox is a good plan otherwise, for sure. And then I kind of want to stop that. I want to figure these out. And it's saying they were just making sure that we're max zoom is much better. Good, good. I think yeah, they're not quite, but we're gonna use 16 millimeter PVC pipe for it, just as I did on the last one. It's a little bit big, to be honest, but it's also because this is like what 14 millimeters in the barrel. The barrel should be thicker walled though, to be honest. But yeah, and we can either just do that or we can measure this up a little bit like so. Or we can't because, hello. So that's where it starts. And the problem is when you're taking pictures of things, you can see like here is the focus of it. So everything else, because of the compensation of a lens, even if this is a screenshot, when you model things in 3D, you get the same distortion that you get from a picture. Uh, so you can see this up here looks like a curved line, but it isn't. That's obviously a straight line otherwise. So there's a bit of compensating when making a pattern from something like this. But this is about 12. And the you know what? Let's do a sketching so we can just measuring out from that later. And then there is a here I don't care at all 16 in diameter, and what did you say, 12? This is just a little remembering thingy for me. And then we need to know how this big the cylinder is, and that's about 6 centimeters. So let's draw in a, oh well, okay, let's make that 12 down there. 6, oh, 6 by 5-ish. Let's do 5. Sounds reasonably simple. But that's a round thing, so we're gonna have to think a little bit about how we are doing that. And in case if push comes to shove, we can always like look at this, I suppose. But I'm also gonna try and avoid looking at this when I'm making the new one because I want you to see the sort of whole experience. Oh, I just marked my whole screen there. All right. So we have a few entries so far. I mean, the stream is gonna go on for a while, so I guess there is no super rush. I don't know if I can see how many there is actually. Oh yeah, total of 2 entries, 2 unique entries. So two people so far want the chance of getting a Fallout pipe revolver replica. If you are interested, the keyword for the giveaway is pipe dream in chat. And that's about 8 centimeters. 8, and it's also actually I'm doing them differently, I know. It's just a rough sketch. I'm not that too worried. I'm not that worried. And we can see that this pipe is attached to this part here. Quite near the bottom, not quite at the edge, but quite near the bottom. And then this has to, of course, in theory at least, spin freely, so this can't touch. It has to be like its tiniest gap here, which we'll have to think about. But we know this is 16. We know this is 50 millimeters, so that's 66 plus, say, couple, so 68. And then we want a couple of millimeters up here, so that's 70. And then we have a little gap of a millimeter or so there. So it's about, this whole bit is about 70 millimeters. And you can see it goes up quite much further. Uh, so let's talk about how we're going to assemble this, because this is going to be a jumble of assembling back and forth. I should have changed the picture above me. Whoa, why did you turn super yellow all of a sudden? There we go. Um, I should have maybe changed that picture just to have the reference picture. But that is it. That's it. I didn't. If you want to have a reference picture for yourself, you have to either Google it or you will have to, well, play Fallout 4, I guess, if you have it. This part, however, is if you're just using, because we're going to use we're going to use floor mat EVA foam for this. So we might want to do something about this, but I have an idea for that as well. But this is way, way too thin, so we're going to double up on this to make this part. I know I didn't write it down. It's a bit silly of me. Oh yeah, 40. I also like how I've done centimeters in some places and millimeters in some places. 50. Yeah, that was like 38, and that was 15. Because we don't even have to cut out the pattern now, do we? We just need ourselves a ruler or a straight edge or something, so we can draw some lines. Let's take the tiny little ruler. Okay, so we need it to be 50 on one side, and then this is the bottom part, and it's going to be 40, 38, 15. And a lot of, I mean, I was considering making a 3D model of this gun, and then I realized it's a pipe revolver. You want it to be a bit wonky everywhere, every now and then. It's going to be rough and ready. It's not a precision-made weapon in Fallout. It's literally made of scrap. And in the game, it will always look the same, no matter how many different pipe revolvers you have, of course, because of game assets and so on. Uh, so this is sort of real-lifing it up a bit. We are real-lifing it up a little bit. And that's part one. Now we're gonna have to remember to flip this around because we need the other side. Well, if you have like a HD foam, like super good quality foam, you're probably not gonna have to because you don't have a pattern on this one side. But if you're doing this with floor mat foam, like I am right now, you definitely need to think about uh, the sides, the inside, back sides and stuff of your bits if you're gonna cut out something and then glue it together like we are. There's gonna be like a little gap there, and we can solve this in several ways. I can use the here we go, that little thing here, the belt sander, but that's a whole lot of noise and I don't want that. Because then I'll have to take off my headphones and all that. So I think we're just gonna simply glue this together like it is. We're gonna rough up this surface though so the glue sticks better. Wouldn't it be fun if we did this whole project? I'm just thinking if it's doable and it's practical. Well, we're gonna do most of the project I think without contact cement because you don't need to use contact cement unless there's unless parts we have parts that needs to be like strongly put together. True sausage, Mr. Pixelprops. How are you? I'm fine, thank you. The code word, the secret code word is pipe dream. If you write pipe dream in chat, if you write pipe dream in chat, you can win this thing that we're building that's gonna look something like this. It's gonna have a different handle actually. But if you want a chance of winning this, pipe dream in chat. Because I'm thinking we could cover this. Because this, of course, wouldn't be solid on a real gun. This would be a hollow box. No, pipe dream in just one word. One word, pipe dream. Because it's a pipe dream and it's a pipe revolver, so it was fun. So, hot glue gun, that's got a lot of heat in it. So you get this. This will literally start melting the foam. Here we go. And let's do this! Yes, Bone Shooter, let's do this. We are doing this. I am doing this. Are you doing your part? Yeah. Pipe dream in one word in chat to enter the giveaway. If you have any sort of interest in procuring a pipe revolver, thank you, sweetheart, for handling all the shouty outs. Yeah, I'm a little bit out of camera. I'm just I was reading and I was like moving with my whole body. Let's move you up a bit, maybe. Oh, there's my cup of tea. No exclamation mark, just pipe dream. Yeah, because this gap would look horrendous. However we think about it. My plan, and I'm gonna see if this is gonna look any good at all. Otherwise, we will be going over to the contact cement. Uh, Thinking of taking a bit of foam like this and just glue it to the close to the edge, and then we get like a little gap here almost. Looks like there are panels, but I'm also not sure that that's gonna be the best plan. I mean, this will hold it. Nah, it's just me using Moobot, and Moobot doesn't like to have special characters in front of giveaway thingies. Because the problem is you don't get glue all the way to the edges this way necessarily. The best thing part about using the hot glue is, of course, you don't have to sand down the surfaces because it's just gonna melt through the plastic, and that's for a very simple reason. This is vinyl, and the glue is vinyl, so they're two of the same. Okay, so let's not do it that way. Let's just do it. Well, actually, we can use this as a template, I guess. Let's just uh, sand it down a bit and use some good old contact cement because it will give us a better complete coverage, and therefore it will be okay. I don't have to be stingy. I have more scrap foams, and that's the thing too. This is just scrap foam bits we're using right now, because what we can do. Oh, this was actually cut in. Okay, let's grab a whole new scrap bit uh, from my bag of scrap bits. Oh, here, look, somebody has glued things together. What a surprise. Now what we can do when the contact cement is, because when you put on contact cement, you put it on both surfaces and then you let it dry before sticking them together. So while we're waiting for that glue to dry, we can do a template and figure out the handle or the grip, I should say, if we want to be correct in how we are saying it. Yeah, this is totally different than XPS. This is floor mat foam basically. Like you have in workshops and like on desks and stuff that comes with this. Eh, come on. Ah, it's not a whole piece, but they come in big sheets like this. Uh, yeah, EVA or floor mat foam, like this type of thing. You see, yoga mats, training mats. They call it a lot of different thing. Uh, It's not necessarily suitable to do terrain bits in because this is more of a rubbery thing, even though it's a plastic. They don't. Uh, it doesn't behave the same as XPS, but for building things like this, it's fantastic. It's just fantastic. And you can buy EVA foam from cosplay stores that don't have this textured side. Yeah, yeah, but then I can bring the sound with me as well, so it's pretty practical as well. Oh, do I have? No, I had. I'll go and get that later. Uh, I have a thing for the front of the the compensator here. I bought a bit for it today. Okay, so we need to go really close to the camera and say hi. Now, what we need to get some sandpaper because this pattern is pressed in by heat. They heat up the foam, and that means this surface is very shiny, and we just need to rough it up a bit, mat it down a bit, so the glue will have something to adhere to. Now we could run this on the belt sander as well, as I said, but it's also not quite necessary. We could also just actually slice it off. Let's see how that works out for us. Oh, talking about, yeah, I kind of want to try the belt sander though. I'm gonna keep talking, and if you, uh, yeah, the headset is new. I got this from a friend because we were talking about I needed a headset, and he got the wind of it, and he's like, I have this old headset you can use, and I was like, okay, thank you. Uh, Yeah, that works very well. Foil, indeed. I'm gonna push a button here, and I want you to write if you can keep hearing me. You're probably gonna see my mouth moving, but if you can't hear me, I would like to know. Silence. All right, cool. That works. Because it doesn't turn off the mic there, but I don't see any sound moving. So that's super, super nice. Because then I can just click that off if I want to use machines. Super practical. But now I have cut this down so it's a bit too small instead. So let's make another one. I mean, look at the size of this thing. You can just go on forever. The best thing with starting out with testing with things on floor mats is that these floor mats are super cheap, at least in Sweden. You can get them pretty cheap for the amount of materials you get. Right. Well, uh, uh, I'm gonna and there we go. Now they're kind of smooth on all sides. So now we can prep those with some contact cement. Hannah, welcome in. Welcome, welcome. May I offer you the chance of having some protection in the wastelands? Because this is what we are giving away. Well, not this one. We're actually making the one that we're giving away, but we're doing a giveaway today for one of these. So if you are interested in such an item, if you just write pipe dream in chat, no, nothing else. Pipe dream, one word, in chat, and you are in for a chance of winning yourself your very own pipe revolver, which is just very cool, especially if you like Fallout, and especially if you like Fallout 4, I guess, where the screenshot here is from that I'm doing. Okay, contact cement. You spread it out evenly, kind of thin, on both surfaces. This will then dry and grab a hold of the surface, and it will be very non-sticky. And once it's dry on both surfaces, you just put them together and they will go and then they're stuck. So don't miss, because that might be bad. Don't place things wrong. Be careful when you're putting them together. And if you're doing this is a pretty small surface area like this, but if you're doing this in bigger quantities and stuff, or bigger prop builds, please use a respirator. So yeah, pipe dream in chat in case you want to be able to defend yourself on your very early days of adventuring in the wasteland. Yeah, it doesn't weigh anything because it's just made of foam. The cylinder in this case is actually just hollow, and I am thinking of seriously. Have been rethinking how to make this, because if we look at here, you can see there's like an edge here. So there's like one disc with holes in, and there's one disc in the back that doesn't even have holes, and then there's like a wrap around, and that works. I'm, however, considering making this in a different way. We'll see once we get there. You have a Nerf gun? Nerf guns are awesome. There's like Facebook groups and whole societies around people modding Nerf guns for and anything and nothing. All right, let's go back. No, we don't want the sights. We want the grips. Oh yeah, here we go. This grip is still one of my favorites. One day I'm gonna build a pipe revolver, and I'm just gonna make all the parts so you can just exchange them and just magnetize the whole thing. But that day is not today. Oh, there's the grip I made, the sharpshooter's grip. But we want the comfort grip. There we go. Okay, this doesn't scale up to the same size for some reason. Thank you, Dropbox, for being fantastic. But it doesn't matter because we know that this part is 38 millimeters because I have that written down. Oh, you don't have to give up for that reason. You can collect cool things without having to play the single game ever. So for me, just feel free to enter if you think it looks cool and you want to hang it on the wall or something. So that is the handle. Now, generally when I do handgun stuff, whether it's like this or it's something, I start with this measurement because that's like the grip size for your fingers, right? You need to be able to fit your hand here and hold it comfortably. Okay? So my go-to measurement when I don't have a specific measurement, if you look like this, is that if there's a straight line there, that should be about 10 centimeters. And if you are centimeterly challenged, that's about 4 inches, in case you want to know that. So, in case you're not used to the metric system and don't feel like doing all the maths, you can also just place your hand down like this and figure that out. I do have this, so I could measure from it, but as I stated before, I don't want to measure from the existing prop because I want to have this on stream where I go through all the thinkings and stuff and why things are made like they do. What we can do here is get an estimated sort of angle. We could measure the angle too, but kind of like that. And then that is a flat. So do we have a good scale? Is this like half scale? Can we do this into like a half scale maybe? No. Silly Dropbox pictures. Stop showing a. Okay. Do we have any Dropbox users here? How often have you written a comment on your own picture in Dropbox? I'm just wondering if that's a feature that's really used. It's also a little bit rude, but it's also in the a bit of a jest. Oh yeah, there's like eh, there's like a plate back here. But yeah, most people, even people in the States, I hear a lot of people that use metrics. Oh yeah, this should probably be lower down then. And I say you can use tracing apps on your pad or on your phone. You can print this out in full scale. There's a lot of because you see there's like a little hook here, and I'm trying to and I'm doing this at the edge of the paper so I can easily cut this out if I want to, or have it separately. So there's like one flat piece of metal like that. It's like that. Ish. And then there's that piece. But again, we also don't have to make like it exactly. This is again a pipe revolver. The whole look of it is I found some metal scrap in the back here and I know how to make a gun, so I'm making a gun so I can defend myself against rad scorpions and whatever else you're gonna find out in the horrible wasteland that is Fallout. Yeah, and these are not, this is not made to scale, so it's gonna look a bit wonky. Might be a bit big, a little big, so let's cut it off like there, maybe? Yeah, that feels better. So this is one, two, three parts, basically. One flat part and, well, two long flat parts that are on edge. But all right, let's have a look at the parts we are gluing. Okay, can you see a shine? Yeah, you can see the shininess, that's the glue, but it's not tacky anymore. So how is this gonna work? Well, you find a couple of edges and you put them together, and then you uh, carefully, so it's not too wonky, push these together, and then you just yes, do the skirt. Yes, do it, Mitch, do it. And these are now together forever. And since we have already used the belt sander, so we can also use that. You can cut this straight if you want to. You can make this a bit bigger. You can take two big square bits and then cut them apart. Cut out the shape afterwards. You can take a, well, don't take a 240 grit sandpaper. Take like an 80 grit or whatever, and you can sand this down. It's a fairly soft material. I'm gonna mute the sound for a bit. And there we go. God, this is so practical. Find so find so practical to just being able to turn off the sound like that. Fantastic. Cheers. That tea has gotten cold. Still pretty good though. And in this case, I'm just gonna, instead of trying to recreate this, I'm just gonna cut out the inner part because that's the only thing I really need a pattern for. It's gonna be interesting now to see how stable this handle is though. Because, well, I guess these might stabilize it a bit. So we're gonna make the handle and we're gonna see how stable it is. I'm gonna use one specialty part today, which you might not be able to do at home unless you have stuff. Leather bridle for the hobby horse. It goes okay, nice. And that's a couple of these. A bolt head and a nut with the screw. And these are made in resin. I have casted these. When you're casting things, if you do that a fair amount, it's always good to have some excess mold for the overpour, because you always usually mix a little bit too much, which is always better than too little. But instead of wasting that, you can pour that into practical things, like I have a mold, so I can make a lot of bolts and nuts and stuff, which can be used readily for props. And you can't see it because it's not actually on this gun, but some of the pictures, it actually has that very bolt holding onto this, which is what we're gonna be using this for. Okay, and it's a bit skinny because there's supposed to be a bit here and a bit here, but we can also now, yeah, I can hold that. I can move this finger if there's a trigger here and stuff. Seems to work out fine. So, and then we're gonna cut out that bit, and how big is that then? Well, we're just gonna sort of estimate. We can see in some of the picture, we can see how this back plate here, this here back plate is, actually I have a pattern. Let's go back to our original, which we could zoom in a lot on. Come on. No, not the base. No, there we go. Oh yeah, because the original, that's because the original picture is bigger. Uh, This has the different handle though, but this plate, and we can also get like a, if we sand this down, that's probably quite a good thickness for that little plate. And it's going to be bigger upwards. You can see that on the picture. It's bigger. It sticks down a bit, and this line here, this light line, is of course the highlight, the light hitting this flat surface there. So it's going to be something like that. So it has like a lip around it on all sides, evenly-ish. Again, Fallout pipe weapons are made from scrap. We are not necessarily doing ourselves any favors by trying to measure this out too precisely. The thing we want to hide is like textured surfaces and stuff, because we want it to look like it's not, we don't want it to look like it's some kind of a plastic foam thingy. It's a bit long, because this edge is not going to go over this. Oh, you have more than enough fabric? Well then, just go for it. Make all the stuff, do all the projects. No, no. So this is gonna get glued onto there. But we need to do something about the surface, and we might want to do something about the corners as well. Right, and it also gives a nice little beep, so I know if it's on, if I turn it on, or turn it on or off. It is good, because that is exactly what I'm after actually. Uh, that's why I'm not wanting to use the original one that I made as a reference either, because I want to you people to see the sketchy part and like how you can do things. Now it might look a bit easy, but I also have a bit of practice, so it might take longer if you want to try it, but I just want to show people that this is a doable project. If you want to spend a day over a weekend to do something, if you want to do a Fallout cosplay with just like pipe weapons or whatever, or do you just want to be a bit creative, I'm just marking out how big this is because now I'm gonna use more contact cement and I don't want any extra glue out here. I just want glue where this attaches. So that's why I'm making a little note of exactly where it's gonna go. Okay, the only thing about the headphones is that they tend to flip forward a bit when you, because I'm leaning forward a bit, but that's the only thing. Has to remember to say thank you to the Hawks again for these amazing headphones. And again, not big lumps, just wet the surface basically. Try and keep the glue even so it dries evenly. Mostly so we don't have to wait forever, to be honest. But if there's a big lump of goop, I mean, this is the old glue and this is still like soft and tacky. It's just gonna take forever for it to dry or cure or whatever it's called for glue. So thin layers. Don't need to wait longer than you have to. Then we can get back to. So the good part about doing it in like different parts and just jumping back and forth is that now we can go back to this one. And we'll need. Oh, bending down it. We need a bit more of foam. Is this enough? Oh, that's because this has been glued together for something before, and this piece just fits perfectly into that piece, and then we can actually cut that off, throw it the little bit in the bin. So I have, this is a plastic, but I'm also still not really sure how this should be sorted when you're organizing your garbage. So I have a special bin just for EVA foam. So we can throw it away responsibly and properly. Okay, don't do that if you're not used to cutting in this material. And what I mean is, don't cut it all away at once. Go once, twice, maybe. Oh well, we didn't. I sharpened it. We only needed it 2 times. But if you're not very comfortable and used to this, just go through a little bit and then go for a second pass. You're gonna thank me later. You're welcome. Because if you don't, you're gonna end up very likely ending up uh, cutting it wrong and working. Thank you very much, and thank you for the lurk. It's very appreciated. Again, texture. If you have HD foam or a better quality foam than floor mats, you don't need to do this part. And now this is perfect. You might also want to write, now I know this side is up because there's a bigger gap to the glue, but you might also want to make notes and write on your pieces which side is up, and or just, write A and B and match things up. Oh yeah, and I wanted to see how this is attached. So I shouldn't have gone back to this part maybe. There's also some small screws and or rivets or something here, and we'll get to dealing with that later as well. I didn't, I could have used just two reference pictures, but I was actually starting the stream looking at these pictures, talking through my choices and why I did it the way I did it. Okay, so this is attached directly to that. We could also fake some of these welding things if we wanted to in the end. Uh, if we have the time, we can use some latex stuff or something to fake some really nice long welds if we get the time. We'll see how that works out for us. I think the angle is a bit off. I will make a tiniest adjustment. Oh, that didn't cut straight at all, Pixel. Yeah, I think that's gonna be decently good, yeah. Okay, so we need two strips of metal that goes down there, and we need to make a hole in this, and we're gonna start making some holes first because we can have it flat. We're just making a couple of random holes. And to make random holes, I'm using a PVC pipe that has been slightly sharpened on the edges. Uh, I use the word sharpened and very lightly here. Uh, but this is harder than this, so this will make marks in this easily. And I'm having this underneath it so I don't jam this into the table. And then we get this. We really want to save these because this is really good. If you cut this off, this is a really good big rivet. I actually have a small collection of round stuff that I cut out because we do not want to waste that. And there's like, I can see there's a hole underneath here, and it's not very visible, okay, but there is a hole under this strap here, so we're going for that. And this handle is, or this grip is going to be interesting as well because we can see it's a bit more metallic shining where it's been held. The rest of the gun is very dirty and rusty, but just that part is very shiny from people grabbing it and using it, I suppose. Hello, Hut Army. Are you gonna come here and win the next gun too? Is that it, Mr. Hut? Welcome in. Because we're making another gun giveaway. Yes, you heard me right. And this time it's the Fallout pipe revolver. Not this one, but this one that we are building right now. That is going to be given away. If you would to be interested in increasing your collection of pixel prop weaponry for your wall, uh, you can just write pipe dream in the chat. Pipe dream in the chat, no exclamation mark, one word, pipe dream, to enter the giveaway. Hello, welcome in. Welcome in. Oh gosh, I can't read anything. Shirlixa, yes. I knew I recognized the name, I just couldn't remember it right off my head. So yeah, if you type uh, pipe dream, nothing else, in one word in the chat, you are in the giveaway for the pipe revolver. Not this one, but this one. It's still in parts, I know. We're getting there. So, Charlixa, if you want in, feel free to write that in the chat. Mr. Hut, if you want to expand your collection of pixel props, prop weapons, you go right ahead. It would be hilarious if you did win, actually. I would not stop laughing for a week. And then I'm gonna send you an email and ask or something and asking you, how the hell do you rig this? How? Yeah, Moobot is slightly kind sometimes. I also need to rename Moobot to something more fitting for me. And I'm just gonna glue this to here so we have starting putting things together. Is it just me? This feels like a small bit. I'm gonna do the thing I didn't want to. Yeah, look at it. It's super small in comparison. Did I go wrong measuring this? I might have sanded it down. Everything, because this looks so small to scale. I mean, it's gonna work. It doesn't matter. I was just surprised. I mean, as I have mentioned more than once, it's a pipe revolver from Fallout 4. It's not gonna be not wonky. So we're gonna keep going. Anyway, we're putting on some more contact cement here. And then we're going to leave that. And then we are going to make these strips. And that is the simplest thing because when you buy floor mats, you get these really funny, funky little things. These edge bits that are actually, well, they're literally stuck like this on the floor mat. So you can have like an edge on if you take like 4 or 8 or whatever you built yourself a soft nice floor for yoga or things. You want a straight edge and then you get that. And some people don't think these are very useful. I say they're wrong because we need a strip, and this is a very long pre-made strip, and I'm betting it's pretty good width as well. All we need to do is get rid of the little puzzly looking bits. Oh, that's so nice of you, True Sausage. Thank you. So nice of you to say. I'm just moving along and cutting these out. These are also good for different things. For making small handles when you want to hold on to your EVA foam thingies to paint them or whatever. So we're not really wasting a lot of materials here when we're doing this. And how long should it be? Well, that's pretty simple. This ends there. Could not be much simpler than that. We're gonna sand it down again, of course, so we don't have this. That is still very kind of you, and it is appreciated. Here we go. 2 bits, but hey, look at this. The glue is not quite dry there yet. Okay, so I'm gonna mute, I'm gonna sand, and then we're gonna put some more things together. And if you don't have good ventilation, and if you don't have a vacuum set up to your machines, please use a dust mask when you do this. Uh, this actually keeps. One of the things that makes it very noisy around here is because I have the vacuum standing down there, and it turns on when I turn on the belt sander. So there's not just one machine of noise. There's a lot of noise. That's why I like to turn off these sounds when I do that. But that also means that most of the dust goes into the far end here. There's a little bit of a trace of it around here, but it's on here and that way away from me mostly. If I do like bigger project with this on the belt sander, I still wear a dust mask. It's just not necessary for these super small things, I think. And also having to remove the dust mask all the time to when you're done is a little bit annoying when you're streaming. Right. Glue is dry. And oh, would you look at that? Our pieces like that are also sort of finished. Just cutting it so it's. Yeah. This one is a bit thick, I think. It's also a bit short, if I'm going to be honest. But again, we don't really need to bother about the exactness of this, because while in game all these pipe revolvers look the same, but in real life I'm pretty sure they wouldn't because they're made of scrap. So that's it. We'll fix this little edge up here later, basically. These edges though, we can also sand them down when it's on here because it's gonna be a lot more rigid when we get them together. Ooh, I clicked my screen because I'm so used to having the chat on. I mean, I literally clicked with my finger, so I'm too used to. Come on, Bill, picture. You made a special version? Oh my God, that's a good special version. Good work. Really, really, really awesome work. And again, some thin glue. And also, this is a very open, good ventilated space. Otherwise, if you're doing a lot of contact cement, wear a respirator. I have like two different respirators with different filters in them for different things. So yeah, be careful with your respiratory system because it's so easy to do all of this, like bending over, for example, instead of holding it away from my face. The camp streaming this is pretty good actually because you're always standing like with the things in far away from you, so you don't stand directly over the fumes at least. I mean, if this was like a workplace somewhere, if I was like an employee somewhere doing gluey stuff, even if I was just doing one gluey stuff, I would probably get yelled at if I didn't wear a respirator even for this. Uh, but yeah, okay, and that has a little bit of a twist to it, but now we know how that looks now. So let's run back this way quickly to our revolver. So we, because this is basically full scale now, which is pretty awesome. So let's compare this box to the one in the picture. It's kind of the same. So this might actually be a good size, and the first one I did was a little bit too big to be completely accurate. We're gonna need another long flat thing for this whole bit here. Oh yeah, I opened a picture and opens a Google Chrome window, and we I suppose we most of us know. Lucky I have like a big plastic bag of these things, so we can just keep using them for all our thinner. This is a pretty thin part though, and while it might have, if this was made out of metal, a structural that might be a structural part. It really not is not in this build. I'm not sure exactly how long it needs to be, so I'm gonna make it extra long. Save the cutoffs. Remove the stuff on the edges. Because I think this is a nice width for that part as well. And that is of course going to be... Oh no, it isn't. It's too small. That's wider. If we look at here, you see the shadows and the highlights and stuff. This part is wider than that box, and it's not here. So this is too small. Sorry, Bit, you're of no use to us now. But that might be useful for other projects later, of course, so we're not just gonna throw it away. That's not how this works. And then if I can just put some glue in between here and get that stuck in there, it's gonna be pretty steady. That's a sizable grip actually. And then we can heat this up, because the best thing about EVA foam, if we're taking a break from the actual gun for a bit, is that you can shape it with heat. Yeah, you can make bowl shapes and bend it. So if we heat this up and we bend it and we keep it in shape like this, it's gonna retain that shape to a certain degree. So for small things like this, that's not really an issue. But if you're doing other things where you need to like parts to go together, you can bend them together before gluing them together. I'm just going to take some of this contact cement because there's a bit of a gap up here, but that's okay. The plan is to, once this glue has dried now, we're going to just push that together, and that's going to form, it's not very floppy, but we're going to make it a bit more stable. Alright, we need to start cutting out some pipes then. We have our two lengths that we need to start this with. Uh, and then I am going to need some dremeling tools. I've been using the belt sander a bit. I know you don't need a belt sander for this. Uh, if you are a bit more careful with your cutting than I am, if you have a better foam than I have, you can easily do this without having a belt sander. One thing that I would almost say is required if you're gonna do foam things is a rotary tool. It doesn't have to be Dremel, the brand. It just needs to be a rotary tool, because you have sanding drums, you have small cutting wheels, which is what we're gonna use soon, which is like super important. If you need one power tool, if you're gonna have one power tool when you're doing foam things, you want to have a rotary tool of some kind. And then maybe a belt sander. People run around wanting to have bandsaws. They are practical, but have I had use for that now? No. I have sanded things. I have smoothed things out, and we're going to use the rotary tool for smoothing some of these edges out later. But mostly we're going to use the rotary tool to deal a little bit with these pipes. We can also use the rotary tool to sand this to a better look. And we're going to fix that. All right, we need 12 centimeters and 8 centimeters of the 16 millimeter. I think that's roughly 3/5 of an inch. Should be right, yeah, ish. Uh, Another good thing to have, of course, to save your work tables, especially if you have a table, is a cutting mat with a grid on it, because then you don't have to have a ruler all the time. So that's 12 right there. And now I am using I'm going to measure that actually, because this is the measurement I want to be fairly accurate with. Yeah, you can see. Now I'm actually using a tool that is kind of made for this, but not for this material. Lock the focus on the table. Is it unfocusing when I move in? We can do that. Just turn off autofocus, and that should be it. And that's about 12. So this is a tool made to cut pipes, but it's made to cut uh, copper pipes. It works okay with plastic pipes, but plastic pipes are so soft, so you have to do it very carefully. You can use a saw, you can use a knife, you can do whatever. You need to cut a pipe. That's the 12, and then we need an 8. Oh no, wait, I don't want it that way. I want it this way. So I guess I'll have to measure then. Yeah, it's made to cut like copper pipes when you like if you look under your sinks and whatever in your bathroom and stuff, you have these usually chromed pipe, but they're actually copper pipes that have been chromed, and that's the stuff this is made to cut. There are basically big clippers that you can use to cut this, but I just like the edge you get from cutting it like this. It seems to be working better on the 16 millimeter pipe for some reason. It's a little bit more annoying to try and cut the 20 millimeter pipe. Lucky for us, we only need one bit of 20 millimeter pipe, and that's for the front part of the gun. Yeah, up here, this part that's almost covered by all the pictures that are rotating there. But it makes a very and it's like a super cheap tool. It actually has a little extra tool because when you cut the copper pipes, you can go in and you can remove all the burriness. Not really necessary in this case. All right. So well, there's going to be this part, but that's the barrel there. Well, I don't know. That's just like a construction part. It's actually not even a barrel because the barrel is, of course, up here somewhere. And we can see, and this is also a good place, a good use for the cutting mat. We can use it to place things out a bit. Uh, the pipe is a little bit below because it's at the bottom of this metal plate, and this is gonna be, oh wait, we know we know this measurement actually, because we know how big that's 60, and so that's there. That's about it, and it looks about right, the difference in the length. So we actually we need a cylinder, and then we need to make this part mostly, and then this part. But I like this part mostly at the front here, and that's where I'm gonna use the Dremel. I'm gonna try to use the Dremel, and I'm gonna see if you have headphones. This might make an annoying noise, so be careful. I'm gonna turn it on a little bit, and then I'll turn it off, and then you can write in chat if it's okay or not. Because it's not super noisy. It's gonna be a bit more noise than that, because I'm gonna cut into things. But otherwise, does it hurt your ears and souls? That's fine. Okay, that's good then. And then we need some. And here's the thing that you need. You can probably use like a whatever. You could use like. I guess you could use lollipop sticks. I'm gonna make. Let's do a show and tell here. If we look at it like this, it's one thing. But if we look at it from this, you can see that there's like 3 layers here. So in between these thin pieces of foam, there is a hard, rigid plastic bit, and that's this one. So we're gonna have to cut that out. And I don't want to try and glue this on like this because it's not gonna work. It's gonna fall off. So what I am gonna do, I am gonna mark out. Ooh, do I have a marker somewhere? Maybe. Marker, so there's the marker. I am going to, because this is a see-through plastic. So now I have the size that I want to cut out. But I want to make this longer. But that's the actual bit, because this is going to go into this pipe and be glued in. So it's actually stable. You have headphones, it's so perfect. Oh, good. That is perfect. And we could actually just make this one pipe and sort of 2 pipes long. And the plastic, the clear plastic that I have, as I said, you can use, I don't know, ice cream, like the sticks from ice cream or whatever. Uh, that's pretty thin. I have some of these PET plastic, this PET plastic, so I'm gonna use it. And this is a pretty soft plastic, so you can, if you really want to, cut it with a pair of scissors. But yeah, you need this bit, and then we're gonna use the same method there in the end. And yeah, this is gonna get, that's a bit long actually. So this is basically what your Coca-Cola, plastic Coca-Cola bottles are made of, same type of plastic. So quite flexible, but slightly rigid when it's like a millimeter thick. So we need to cut a hole here so we can jam this in here. And that's why I wanted to have this one with the cutting disc. Oh, that might have become a bit wide, but it's okay because we're gonna glue this in anyway. And then we can put this in here. And now we also, when it's this far up, it's easy to get access to glue it on the inside as well if we want to, which is what we want to. But there's a little bit of a tap here, but that's a smaller diameter, so we're just gonna... Oh wait, look, we have some small things that we can use. It's almost like it's a good idea to save everything. So, and this this is so small surfaces, so contact cement wouldn't be very efficient. So we're just gonna put on some hot glue inside and on top there. We're gonna slide this in place. Make sure that it's 90-degree-ish. And then we're gonna measure out where this is gonna be, and then we're gonna put that on there. And we could, well, no, quite possibly do this to get this sort of measurement if we wanted to, for example, or measure it. Hoarding intensifies. Yeah, it's a bit of a hoarder's game if you want to build weird stuff, and you more often than not visit the plumbing department when you go to a hardware store of any kind, because they have so many good pipes and connections and stuff. 32 millimeter sewage pipe, like you can see in most bathrooms and stuff. Uh, in this case, it's a tool. You can make like the other ones, but you can use this to build stuff with. Okay, so what do we got? Okay, and we have learned that we don't want to put our fingers on here so much, but that's like 2.5 centimeters from the front, so that's okay. And it's about, because exactness is not our thing when it comes to post-app thingy weapons and stuff. And the disc here is a bit smaller than the plastic, so it might be, I wasn't getting, hard to get it in there. So once the disc is in, I actually just ever so gently, because this is just plastic and this is a cutting disc, I just gently push it or pull it towards me to widen this up a bit. But not too much. We want it to kind of go in a bit snugly. We could also, once we have this gap opened up, get ourselves some files of some kind. And just balsa wood, foam, cardboard, plastic wire. Yeah, dried putty plus flux and basing stuff. Yeah. Yeah, storage is. There are a few things that people don't think about so much when you're a prop maker. Even if you do for a hobby, you need storage space, and if you're gonna sell things, you need to learn how to pack and ship things. Because I mean, this is never gonna really break unless you like stomp on it. But sometimes you send fragile stuff. Here we go. And that's very snug and nice. And this is one of those places where we want to be pretty thorough. We want them to be as parallel as possible without having to measure too much. Right? And then we put, because here's the thing, then I'll glue the cylinder to this back, and then I'll glue that to the cylinder. Yeah. So that's how this whole thing comes together, because the cylinder is not going to be able to move. So let's glue this baby in. Let's just make sure we can easily get it in place. Yep. Yeah, and not just storage space, but good storage containers. I still have things everywhere, and I have plenty of space, but getting more and then you have to, don't be afraid to reorganize your whole workspace, even if it means taking apart furniture, because in the end, if you have a workspace and you're going to use it a lot, it needs to be practical more than anything else. So it's easy access to all your things and stuff and so on. Alright, now is the question how I want to make the cylinder. Should I just make it like I did before? Should we just make this version? 'Cause that's pretty easy. Because I don't think I have. Do I have any wood pipes of the right size? It's a quite specific size though, so I'm pretty sure I don't have any pipes unless you are actually the exact size we are looking for. Because then we can just dress you. That would be so simple. Dude, we might be so lucky. We might be so lucky here. Yeah, that's a 50 millimeter pipe. All we need to do, because we need to make these little cuts in the cylinder, is figure out how we're gonna do that. Because what we can do now is we can dress this, not in this because it's not enough, but with a craft foam, and this will be super rigid and just like a millimeter or so bigger than we thought it would be. So we can use this. 50 millimeters seem to be a good choice to have done. Ah, yeah. 79. Oh yeah, this is the one that the map came in that I bought before. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so this is gonna go there. That's gonna go, yeah. Okay, so cylinder. Uh, but those are gonna, no, we're gonna save this anyway because we're gonna use this to wrap around a bit to heat shape the foam, but we are actually going to use a piece of foam for the cylinder. I want it to be as soft as possible. These are of course not soft. You could buy, there are dowels made from EVA foam from cosplay places where that sells cosplay foam and stuff. You can buy that, and you could use most of this, and then you can use minimal of hard materials. Using soft materials, even though this is a PVC pipe, it's kind of a soft material. Uh, Means that this is totally con safe. All you need is like a orange muzzle to show that it's a not real weapon. You go shopping after that? I'll keep I'll keep the sword in hand. I'll keep them all. Don't throw swords at people, sweetheart. Yeah, but since it might lag a bit now because I'm gonna open me a browser window. Because I am not uh, extremely super good at remembering math formulas and stuff. So I'm going to use myself a little online calculator because I need to know the, the circumference of my cylinder. But it doesn't want to see to open this page. Oh, there we go. Stop that with the cookie thingies. I've been here several times. My diameter is 5 centimeters. That means my circumference is 15.7. Okay. You're just a sausage. Yes, but you're a true sausage, and that's what makes you special. So, 15.7 around, around the foam. Well, we can keep cutting into this long strip then. And it doesn't have to be exact. So, about this there. And then we know that in the other direction, it's gonna be 6 centimeters. So, Now this is pretty thick. Speared by sword. So it's gonna be annoying to, but all we need to have is a good solid outside. The inside can be a bit wonky, so we can actually cut this in half by going about halfway through. Uh, this is definitely a place where you don't want to try and cut all of it at once, because all you will end up doing is likely to slip with a knife, and slipping with sharp knives usually means you need to go and get yourself a band-aid. So go around, take a little bit at a time. Try and keep your fingers out of the way as much as possible. And then we can always sand down the inside a bit, because it's still a bit thick in the middle, because I managed to angle the blade. So, oh, hello, Badger Forge. Guten Morgen. I'm gonna mute myself for a little bit now. All right. Oh, welcome in. Welcome in, Badger Forge. We are making another one of these with a slightly different grip, as you can see here. Once this is done, we're gonna click draw a winner on my little raffle thingy, and the one lucky winner will win this, and it will be shipped to them within a reasonable time. Uh, yeah, I don't know much German either, so I don't know how much German Bone remembers or knows either, but yeah, I think we will get by with some English. Now, if you want in on being able to have a chance to win a this pipe revolver that we are building, you just type pipe dream, one word, no exclamation mark or anything, pipe dream in chat, and you are in. Oh yeah, I know what Guten Morgen. No, Guten Morgen means good morning. So that much I know. And then did somebody else? We get to yeah. Bone Shooter asked how he is doing, basically. How are you? So I know some German words, but not that much. And now we are heating up the foam. So it will be nice and soft. This is super hot. Don't put your hands over it. I am out of camera, I know, but basically what I'm doing is heating up the foam. Then we're just gonna roll it up, and next, since we have a roll in a good size, let's use that. Jar Jar Binks. Yeah, that's if you say it with a sort of German accent, it kind of sounds German. You're not wrong, and I can never forget that now. Thank you. Thank you. So that's about 60 around then, yeah. It's supposed to be 50 around. So let's, because I stretched it out now a bit when I folded it around the pipe. Here we go. That's about it. Time for some glue. Time for some more glue, like right there. Let's get our little glue plate thingy. It's too soon time for a snack break, I think, because it's been almost 2 hours now. I like to take a little short snack break, make some more tea maybe after a couple of hours, just to keep the energy going. But we'll get that glued together first, I think. Is there anything we can do while we are waiting? Yeah, we can start cutting. We can start making this bit, which needs to be wider than this. It needs to be about that wide. And that means we need our scrap bits again. Do I have the long? Oh, okay, the long ruler is over here. It's my straight edge. And it needs to be wider because it is wider in the picture. Not by much, but it is wider. So to make it look the part, we're gonna make it a little bit wider. So we're gonna make it that wide. And that wide is, okay, let's go another millimeter because then it's 3 centimeters and that's super nice. And that's about 9-ish, 12-ish, so 21, 22. Let's make it 22, 23. It's better to make it a bit too long than too short in this case. And yes, that is what she said. Doing it 23. Food, yeah. Tea and biscuits. Well, if I had any biscuits, that would definitely be a thing. I do not have any biscuits. It's gonna have to settle for a good old sandwich, I think. And again, if you're not used to it and if you're trying this material out and stuff, don't cut all the way through at once. Several cuts, nice and easy. It's a bit thick though. It's about double the thickness that we need. So we're gonna, as you can see, is this good? Is this good? Yeah. Yeah, and that's gonna go like there, and then that's gonna bend like there somewhere. Oh, yeah. But we want this away anyway, so yeah, we might as well do some uh, Belterino sanding. So muting again. Slice of sausage could be the title of my philosophy book. I guess. Why not? And then the question is, did we make this long enough? Yeah, we did. That's good. That's good. That's good. We're gonna heat this up and then bend it in the right place, so to speak. But this needs to go on, and it needs to be like that much there. So we're gonna get this in place. But first, okay, both surfaces are dry, not tacky, and they're glued on. And here's the tricky part then, lining them up properly, and then just go for it and put them together as smooth. We're gonna sand this anyway, but smooth, as nice and neat as possible is always good. Yeah, we have stretched the when we rolled it against this, we actually stretched the material out a bit as well, because you can stretch it quite far when it's warm. So it's a little bit wonky, but that's okay. We have sanding tools, and we have sandpaper if it comes to that, but in this case, I'm just gonna go knife there. So, so if we just sand this down, and we can do that with the Dremel actually. Then smooth that out with a bit of paper. And this part can also be placed down on the downside, or just straight up, and we don't have to bother about anybody ever seeing it, since this is not going to rotate in any way. Okay, so this needs to get on here next, then then we need to cut out the circles that are going there and there, and at least in one of the circles on the front we're going to do 6 holes, so it looks like, you know, kind of a gun. And then we start to, because now we're starting to get somewhere. We do not need the pipe anymore. Where are you? You are there. Of course, you're not bent into shape yet, but still gives us like a rough idea of where we are in this process. Oh, maybe I should just heat this and pull it out a bit more, because it's a bit too wonky. But yeah, uh, we're definitely getting somewhere. But I need food. I need to have snacks, and I need to do some more tea. Uh, that's how that's bad. What? This chat has turned from chilly to anxiety. Yeah, that's seems about right. But we can all take a snack break. I will put up the Be Right Back screen, and I'll be back in, I don't know, 5, maximum 10 minutes. I don't think so. Hello, Mel. You are coming in just as I'm taking a snack break. But before that, if you want the chance to win your very own, well, it's gonna look more like this when done, pipe revolver, prop replica thingy, because it's not a real revolver, obviously, but we're still saying that because we want to make sure that people understand this. If you would like to have your very own defensive fake weaponry, you can write pipe dream in the chat. One word, no exclamation marks, nothing. If you want to have a chance at it. That's actually going to be up there. This is just, oh, here we go. That's a little bit more representative. Not quite, but a little bit. Not quite there. But yeah, I need to eat something. I need to make some more tea, and so I'm taking a 5, maybe 7, 8, maximum 10 minutes break, and I will be back in a flyers in the stream, but yeah, reply thingies are for noobs. I don't know. I don't know how that works. It's just weird. But yeah, I'm putting up this be righty backy, and I will be righty backy. boop, boop. Here we go. Quick snack break is now over, and we will resume our ordinary scheduled thingy mujingis. Whatever. Whatever. What has happened? Oh, bye, Badger. Bit late, maybe, but you know. Fake sausage is fine. Fake sausage. I know a guy who can make really good fake sausages, actually. Um, let's get this on here so we can start mapping in where we want this to go. Yeah, let's have a look. How? Okay, it's like half the pipe, so it's kind of like there. Okay, and again, let's just mark out where this goes because we do not want to have so much glue around on outside of where these two pieces meet. Sausage meat. Now you got me even. I just had a sandwich. Now I'm hungry again. Sausages. Le sausages. Yes. Oh yeah, and then we have to adjust this a little bit, but just a little bit. We could also just sand it or brutally force it into shape. It's gonna get better shaped once we put in the discs on both sides as well. Yeah, you're like half the world away in your own very special little time zone down there from away where I am. I mean, Mel is at least fairly close to me. She's just like an hour, one time zone away. Where everybody else is from, I don't know. Well, I don't know that I know anyway. Let's put it like that. I might have been given this information at some point, but alas, it is forgotten. Gone and lost. Okay. Glue, drying. Things, making, cutting, out. Yes, good. All the makings. About 45. Oh, we need another little tool. We need a little tool. Another nifty little practical tool. And it's this little circle cutter. About 45-ish. There we go. How wide are you? You are over 50, so you should do fine. And it's basically a compass, but it has a blade in at the end. But the blade on that is not long enough to go through all the way, so there is a bit of manual labor, so to speak, in doing this. So how are we doing today, chat? Are we all okay? Are we feeling fine? And so on. And this is then gonna go in there, like so. And there's gonna be this little gap here, but I don't mind too much actually. We wanna see a cool prop gun. Well, here's some cool parts for a prop gun. We can put the original one that I made in screen as well if you wanna see. I have a couple of other prop guns if you wanna see that, you know. Since you were slightly unspecified exactly what prop gun. We have some options. Oh, hey Simon. Hello. Sneaky, you're still at work. Oh, Simon, write pipe dream in chat. One word, no exclamation marks or anything. If you want to have a chance at winning the next one of these that we're making right now. So before you sneak out, back off and sit around and doing all that working thing, make sure to enter the giveaway. There we go. Thank you, Moobot. Yeah, maybe I should have done the giveaway stream on the weekend, but the thing is, on Saturdays I build my death threads, and I'm not giving those away. I mean, I can make one extra at some point and give that away later on, maybe, I don't know. But right now the death threads are bloody well mine, and you ain't getting them. And that's just how it is. And that will fit snugly in there. And then we are gonna have to figure out, we're gonna make the holes in here once this is on here then. Because from the back you can see a little bit, but from the front you definitely see the holes, the bullets in. Oh, hello. We killed the Batman. Well, that is a very possible way too. Welcome in, Diabolic Prop. Welcome in. We're getting ready for the wasteland. Well, actually, I'm making somebody else ready for the wasteland because we are giving away this gun as soon as it is finished. I'm gonna draw it. Yeah, if you're well, if you're okay with me shooting the Batman with a pipe revolver, I guess I'm in. Oh, I can wear my mask and I can be like Hazard Man. That can be my super villain name. I don't know. But anybody, if you're not already in, if you want a chance to win a prop like this one, which is the one that we are building, you all only have to write pipe dream in the chat. Pipe dream, one word, no exclamation marks, not anything at more than pipe dream. And we can see if we can make your pipe dreams come true. So if you're interested in that, feel free to join in. This, yeah, all the thicknesses here makes no sense to me. But it doesn't have to make sense. It's okay. Oh, here we go. Both the fer like the ferrets need weapons now. Okay, okay. Yeah, your chances are going down. I know. I should just be quiet, right, sausage? So you can just like sit there and go like, it's gonna be mine now. Or you should sit somewhere and try and scare people off. Okay, these needs to be glued in, and we'll hot glue them in. The question is though, shall we make the holes first? And because this doesn't not fit with, you know what? I mean, this is a 6 shooter in the game. Otherwise, you could have done it a five-shot revolver. We need a metal pipe. Oh, wait, I have my metal pipes here. Hello, metal pipes. How big? How big a hole are you making? That's a very small hole, but we can Dremel those up with a small sanding bit. Doopity 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 doop. Bidoopy doopy doop doop. Yeah, so we can make a pilot hole with. Oh, this is bigger. We'll make a pilot hole with this, and then we will glue. Shall we glue this in for now? We don't want to glue it in first, because we want to have it flat. Yeah, and the VOD will be. I mean, I'm a Prime user, so it will be around for on Twitch for 60 days, and it will also in the coming days be uploaded to my YouTube. So it's gonna be there for you to watch. And we want to go pretty close to the edge then, I suppose. It's also a little bit smarter to make these holes, these uh, these holes where the bullets are supposed to be before putting it in, so we can see if we make it looks good or not. And it's hard if we glue it in. It's gonna be one of a job to get it out if we do something wrong. So the plan is now to make these little holes and then go in with the Dremel and open up these holes a little bit more. So it will be, because these are kind of small, especially considering the barrel size. Though the barrel walls are pretty thin for a, but this part, if this was visible, if we didn't have this part to make in front here, the barrel stopped there. We would simply have put in a bit of foam and made a smaller hole, so we make like it looked like the whole barrel was thicker. Um, But thank you for dropping in. Thank you to anybody who is dropped in and to the people who are still here. To the people who are still alive. Yeah, I got a bit of nostalgia yesterday and listened to the end credits song from Portal. If you played the game or at least heard that song. You're conscious and uneaten. What kind of a life is that for a sausage? Isn't the purpose of a good sausage to be eaten and enjoyed? You're avoiding your responsibilities as a true sausage. You should be eaten. That's the sausage way. Please don't go and get eaten. I mean, considering where you live in the world, that's a bit fairly, you know, fairly easy thing to arrange, I guess. Just like wander out in the bush somewhere and go like, "Hi animals, just eat me." And they would just gobble. Oh, I could have made, if this was bigger, I could have made this and this could have been like Dum Dum bullets. But alas, I don't have a metal pipe the right size, I think. Portal was a really great game. This was a triumph. Yeah, awesome. The song is just brilliant. I love how it goes from doing science for the people who are still alive and at the end it goes doing science on the people who are still alive. GLaDOS, you are one mean machine. It's hard for me. I understand. You are a sausage with a destiny. Maybe all sausages are destinies, and we either help them with it or we have just ruined the sausage society forever by eating all the sausages before their time. But since we have eaten all those sausages, we can't ask them if they were supposed to be eaten then. So we might as well just keep going, right? And then, here we go. Remove the extra material from the back. Howdy, partner. I think we've got ourselves a gun. Well, another part for a gun then, maybe, at least. And they're not totally unsymmetrical. Let's quickly glue this in place before I change my mind. This is a place where you really don't want to use contact cement because as soon as it makes contact, haha, it will uh, get stuck, and we want to be able to adjust a bit. You can use hot glue, super glue, some kind of super glue, epoxy glues, if you have some work, any glue that has a working time. I wouldn't use PVA glue for this, and I would also be very careful so you don't burn your finger off. Predestined sausage. And the thing is, this backside, it's not super visible, so I'm not even gonna bother but trying to line up these holes, because if we do these holes and they don't line up really good on the backside, it's just gonna look wonky, and we're avoiding the wonk to that degree anyway. Now we don't want to push this in too far because we want it to be sort of flush with this surface. Now we have to sort of decide where the bend is gonna be, and it's gonna be like there, basically. Is that it? Yeah. Let's heat that part up with the hot air gun. And then we'll just keep it like, what? You made it back safely? Congratulations. Welcome back, traveler. Because we can start to gluing this together. Because we could, there is a bit of a gap here, but we could also, and I think that's a pretty good plan for stability, get this glued in like that in the end. Uh, but first we have to have a look here, and you can see These two these two surfaces don't line up, and I really want them to line up because that means we'll have a flat back to glue against. Normally there would be a bit of a gap between because this is supposed to spin, but for a prop weapon that's not necessarily necessary. So let's do a tiny little mark. It's just like a couple of millimeters, and we can do this in. So we cannot use the little funny tool, the funky bit here, because it needs to be a bit in on the pipe because it can't really cut that close to the end. So muting and sanding. And here we go. Much better. There's a bit of a lip here now, but that doesn't really matter because everything is sort of welded on. So if we get a little plastic lip, yeah, it is scary out there. There's like people out there. Those are like the worst. There's not much contact surface. Okay, before we start mounting these or anything, we're going to talk a bit about gluing things and painting things that are made of nice and shiny plastic. You don't like nice and shiny. You need to rough up this surface to get glue to stick better and to get paint and primer because the plastic part, this doesn't need primer for this project. You can use different types of plastic spray can, plastic paints and stuff, rubber paints and such to seal it in because it is a porous material. This will suck up paint like nobody's business. So you can hit it with a primer, you can do stuff, but you don't have to. You can also just feed it. But this plastic is way too shiny for even the best primer to get stuck on properly. And this plastic as well. All right. So now is the question: is this a hot glue situation or a contact glue situation? I think this is a hot glue situation because it's such small contact surface. So there's not enough for the hot glue, for the contact cement to actually work well with. Then we're just going to line up one of the top holes-ish with our barrel because that's a bit wonky. That's going to stabilize as soon as we glue that in, of course. Wander around aimlessly in the backyard. Well, you know, there are more dangerous things to do in life. Well, I guess unless you're actually our true sausage, because walking around in his backyard could probably be lethal. One could make a German joke about it and say it would be the worst experience, I suppose, because, German jokes are fun or something. No, but we did do some German talking about a little bit earlier. So yeah, it's the worst. Okay. this part, however, because there's a lot of surface, this is definitely a contact cement area. And then we might want to heat this up a bit and flatten it down a bit more. Then we need to get in to build this little thing here. One is this thing that holds the uh, that would actually be holding the cylinder in place, and not the way we're doing it. Making some marks just so we don't get glue everywhere we don't want glue, as we have done so far. And then we'll bring back the contact cement of doom. Yeah, exactly. You get neighbors. I told you it would be dangerous. Hey, it's dangerous in your backyard. Take one of these. It's dangerous to go alone. Maybe I should made a sword instead and could have made a joke work a little bit better. A little bit of old school Zelda, Legend of Zelda humor. It's never really wrong. There we go. And then we just... Oh yeah, we didn't mark out where on this one. Ah, good plan, Pixel. You had almost had me fooled that you knew what you were doing. But I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just really good at guessing. That's all you can ever ask for. Bears, foxes, skunks, raccoons, snakes, snapping turtles. Well, foxes are kind of smallish and skittish. Bears, not so skittish for the most part, though. Skunks, well, let's hope they're not skittish, right? Snakes, depend on what snakes. Snapping turtles, well, don't put your fingers in their mouth and you should be pretty okay. Also, you can probably outrun it if you need to. Because, well, it's a turtle. They're not known for their ultra mega super speed. Yeah, I got something. I have something. I'll be right back. Well, actually, I don't know. Let's see if you can hear me the whole time. I don't know. I don't know how long these Bluetooth speakers, headphones reach in here. This is a good test. Because I bought something today. I picked up something from the hardware store. That will make life a bit easier. Ta-da! Yes, this. Well, this should slide. Why does? Don't you? Oh, you should have like yeah. Oh, well, that's for me thinking life would be easy now. Okay, this on this side it actually goes over, but on the small side it doesn't. The fuck? So I'm supposed to have one of those connecty thingies over there, but they look horrible. I was hoping this would fit on slide on there, because then we would have like a good part for that. But we can cut this off and we can glue this on, so we can use this if we want to, at least. So there's that an option. Huh? So weird because the bigger pipes do slide in, but not the small part. Okay. Somewhere somebody is making that sound sensible. That person is just not here right now. Okay. And contact cemented. Wow, starting to look slightly gun-like. And then we know how far this is gonna go because we can see that on our reference picture. It's just in front of this, basically. So we can just pinching it there to make a mark. I can see on the original as well, this one is much thinner. Uh, starting to, because this is, yeah, starting to think this doesn't look so good, so maybe we should taper this a bit. But we don't have to worry about that yet, and then we can just contact cement this down onto the cylinder anyway, so it's nice and snug there. Pew, pew, pew. It's a bit wobbly like this in comparison to this because it's just the handle is made differently. Oh yeah, we were supposed to sand these things down. Well, it's almost kind of straight even. Hmm. So, in the fake apocalypse of the far future, where you're gonna need fake weaponry, you know who your friend is. You know who you should team up with. I also have experience with cooking over open flame and building things in general. So, when the inevitable collapse of our society is upon us, remember who you should be. Oh, it's too short. God damn it. Well, we can use it for this middle part then. I was so hoping. I was so hoping. Whoa, a lot of text. Blackbird sounds aggressive. Well, no. True. Coast alive. Coast. Well, amazing. Love it. Well, quite scary. Yeah, they're kind of is until you start looking at them closely or hold them actually because they're like super lightweight. But yeah, it's easy to, especially on a camera. It looks so delicious when I look on a camera. But looking at it like with my own eyes like that, it's like, whatever. Not really, but it doesn't look as shiny. So this should wrap around. This wraps around the barrel here, and both places. So that's why I'm using a bit of craft foam, and we're just gonna contact cement this around like this. But yeah, but that's why when you go into cons that you need to have the orange tip because it needs to be checked and it needs to be people can see that it's not a real weapon. Uh, it's not as much an issue. I mean, I'm glad the rules exist here as well, but it's not as much of an issue. But I can imagine in the United States where you have some states where you can get a hold of and legally get a hold of and carry weapons. Do you have my paying card and ID? No, I don't have your paying card and ID. Why would I have? No, I can quickly look in my wallet thingy if you want to, but I'm pretty sure I don't have your stuff. Because you had your wallet and done stuff after me, after I have had use of it. No, no extra cards or anything in my wallet. So can't you find your wallet? Is that it? Well, I can't read chat now, but I can speak to you anyway, I guess. Uh, yeah, check, yeah. So, yeah, but it's always good to be safe and having things marked out for what it is so people know. I mean, you can always argue with like, but anybody can sneak in. Yeah, but let's make it harder at least. Uh, but yeah, it can be bit annoying. Mm. I mean, of course, there are legal firearms in Sweden, but nobody you won't unless it's the police. You will not see anybody legally walking around with a holstered weapon here. Yeah, you do that, sausage. Don't burn out. You're still in the run. You still might soon be able to fake defend yourself against, well, whatever fake thing you need to defend yourself against, I guess. And now that we have some glue, let's get some glue in here so we can glue this piece together here properly as well. Oh, I should have made those before I glued in the cylinder. We're gonna have to, yeah, exactly, sausage. Go to sleep in your bun and await your destiny as a sausage. Await your eater. Await the great devourer. Because it looks much smaller here than, yeah, I might have made this thick then, I guess, when I made it too thick, but uh, kinda, kinda. It's also a bit thicker here. That, of course, makes it all look a bit chunkier. Of course, this is still openable, so I can actually make these cuts kind of easy. Kind of easy. What we have to do then? Well, we have to make the middle stick thingy pin, whatever they would be called. I'm gonna go and get a wooden dowel. Yeah, you too. Good night. Sleep well, sausage. And I will see you around. Alright, found myself a good nice wooden dowel. Guess we can just sharpen this and poke it into the cylinder. And that's gonna be that little stick. And then we're gonna have to make this bit kind of like we have made that bit actually. So let's grab ourselves a tiniest bit of plastic, do some marking, see, uh, it needs to go to about there. Okay, so we need to straighten this out. It's pretty much the right size already. And again, you can use whatever rigid sort of material you have around for this part. It does not have to be a plastic bit like this. Not at all. Uh, yeah, it seems about right. There's the Dremel. And then just like we did here, we're going to have to cut into the pipe. And it's a bit wider than it has to, but that's okay. Okay, that did not really fit in there right now. because this is also going to be covered by craft foam, just like the front one is about to be. Yeah, that looks about right. So glue is dry. Start from one side, make it snug up there, and then we can just, when you go into the corner, if you sort of roll it into the corner like this, you're gonna get a really tight fit before you roll up on the pipe part, and then go around. Because if this part touches here, it's gonna get stuck. So we want to sort of roll it down like that. Get it snug and fit right in there. There we go.